Okay, turn 13. So, bad news. We are having units desert because we don't have any income, because our total income is 83. Good news. Also, we have Niflheim coming in, looking probably to attack us, but hopefully maybe attacking Utgard. I'll need to double check with them to make sure that's what they're planning. Good news. The good news is, we have other players attacking Utgard. I've gotten Saramesha over there to agree. I'm trying to get Niflheim to agree. Haven't gotten them pinned down in that agreement, but I'm hoping I will. And it would be nice to get Shinoyama as well, though I don't think they really border. They could come in through this territory, but then I need to get it back somehow, and I don't know. It's a bad scene overall, but it could be worse. You know, could be worse, could be raining. I got blood slaves and death gems from Nazca, and I sent them air gems. As I said before, okay, for one moment, stepping aside. I've said on Discord things like you should never trade air gems to Nazca, and I have a bad habit, I would say, of saying things in a very specific and definite way, when actually what I mean are general guidelines. Generally speaking, you shouldn't send air gems to Nazca, you shouldn't send death gems to Ermor. Even if that pushes you up a little bit, it pushes them up more, because they have more efficient uses for that stuff than pretty much anybody else. So, essentially, you're lowering your relative position, and the knock-on effects lower your relative position even further than you might think, because it means that they're going to be able to use that ability to leverage some kind of advantage over their neighbors, even if you're nowhere close to them, become stronger faster, and then when you do finally meet them, you're kind of at a doubled disadvantage, if that makes sense. So generally, you just shouldn't do it. It's just a bad call. In this particular situation, it doesn't matter to me, because I have to do everything I can to not instantly die. And if that means empowering one of my enemies in the late game, so be it. I'm going to fight. I'm gonna see how far I can drag this on. DMX wouldn't want me to give up, I know. So we're gonna see what we can do. Unfortunately, Utgard actually got those mercenaries I was trying for. The Gufri swordsman, which is super, super unfortunate. I'm bidding 300 gold on the Far Strikers. I guess I probably shouldn't, because more of my troops will desert. But my upkeep's only 147, so if I keep my money, I'll be able to pay that upkeep. But a whole bunch of troops are going to die this turn anyway, so we're breaking siege with everybody. We're bringing in these Atavi archers. We've got Bandar. We've got some ethereal chaff. I might be able to defeat the knights. Maybe. Odds are not great, but it is just barely possible. What I'm going to have to do is, I can't actually cast Bloodburst. I can cast Bleed, and I can summon imps. So we're going to have our Blood 1 mages here. I only have 5 blood slaves, but we're going to summon imps with all of the ones who can. Only having 5 blood slaves means I'll only be able to summon imps 5 times, but so we're going to give you 2 blood slaves, we're going to give you 2 blood slaves, and then we're going to give you a blood slave. I can't give you a blood slave because you're moving in. Yeah, I can't give one to you. We're going to give you a blood slave. There's nobody here to bless because there are no sacreds. So we'll give you a blood slave, and you will cast summon imps, and then start spamming claim life. Okay, with this force, I might be able to beat them. It is not at all certain. I have to get into melee because my missiles will not hurt knights hardly at all. So I have to get into melee with my Bandar here. It's gonna be a bad fucking scene, especially because everybody has a morale penalty. The Ganas have pretty high morale. The Atavi archers have pretty shit morale. The Bandar have pretty okay morale. If they can hit, they'll do damage. They hit hard enough to punch through that armor. The question is just, will they hit? And the answer is usually no. Especially not against 20 fucking knights. But I've got to try it. I've got to break out of my capital as quickly as I possibly can. And anyone who can get me blood slaves. Because I can summon Rakshasas now. So I need to what I need to do is contact people and just offer to trade for blood slaves, but I don't think anybody has blood slaves is the thing. Getting blood slaves requires, like, investment. And what I'm going to have to do is, if I can break out of my capital, I'm just going to start blood hunting my capital. It has to happen. I'll blood hunt my capital, build up as many blood slaves as I can to start pumping out Rakshasas. Rakshasas can help me counter these Jotun giant units to some extent, and we'll just kind of have to see how far we can go. So, that's the turn. DMX should be coming out pretty much any time. That will give me a significant boost to my blood power. If I can manage to break out of my capital, I've also got these Palankasha coming back. Palankasha can fight giants pretty effectively. If I can break out, then I'll have income from my capital again. I'll be able to secure income from my other provinces, so my income will suddenly jump back up to like 400 or something. This palisade will be done next turn, so I'll be able to start securing income from that anyway, as long as fucking Niflheim doesn't attack me. If Niflheim attacks Utgard, I'll be fine. If Niflheim attacks me, I'm absolutely doomed. So let me actually check Discord real quick, just to make sure. That destruction is not about to descend upon me. Which would be super, super bad. Who's Niflheim again? I know you're not seeing anything because I'm engaged in tense negotiation. Yay! Niflheim, Cerebral Bush. Where are you at, man? Where are you on my Discord list? Okay. He's offline. I can't talk to him. Shit. Alright, well, you know what? I'm just going in for it. We can only do what we can do. If he comes down here, he'll besiege a palisade. I think he'll break it in one turn because it won't have any defenses. And we'll just work with what we got. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in turn 14. Alright, turn 14, and DMX has awoken. We might have a prayer. We'll see. In Cormark, lost the province, did kill 2 Jotun javelinists. I'm not quite sure how this occurred. I think it may have been javelin-friendly fire. Unless those wolf tribe really actually did cause damage, which seems unlikely. Actually, no, they did. They killed 2 Jotun javelinists, and then 1 more got clipped by javelin-friendly fire. So, good going, wolf tribe. You did your people proud. Wolf tribe are pretty good at killing giants, actually. You don't have to hit super hard to hurt Jotun javelinists. They don't have very high protection. I did manage to beat the knights besieging me. I got lucky. I must have gotten lucky is the only way I can think that this worked. I don't know which of these guys are the commanders, because they all look identical. Just 2 of the random knights are commanders in this group. And I don't think it really shows you who is what. But in any case, because it doesn't show leadership values in battle. Yeah, it does, actually. It does show leadership on commanders. So, I don't know, but they died without killing hardly anybody, which was great. So as you can see, they charged in. I was firing arrows. I started summoning some imps. The Ethereal Chaff went in, and Ethereal Chaff, Ganas, actually really hard to kill. Because, of course, they're ethereal, so there's just a straight-up 75% miss chance. So the knights wasted their lance charge on the Ganas. The actual troops started coming in, hitting them, and at this point, the enemy actually routed. Why? Hard to say. Like I said, their commander or commanders must have died. So that was great. I love it. Yeah, the 2 knight commanders. There were 2 knight commanders. They must have been in the back or something. In any case, I think they got smited. I think my Raktapada Prophet blasted them with Claim Life or something like that. But in any case, they died, and they fled. So, great. I have Lanka back. I lost Uzid to Utgard moving in. I lost Kawadal Swamp to Gufri's Swordsman, and I lost Cormark to Utgard's Prophet. But, also, lots of unrest in Yellow Mountains. But I did complete, and unrest in Hoburg Dwarf. I completed my palisade, so that's good. That's happened. Jotunheim, or Niflheim, sorry, has moved in. I have a non-aggression pact with Niflheim. Why they've agreed to give me a non-aggression pact, I'm not 100% certain, but I will take it with both fucking hands. Saromesha has committed to attack Utgard, so they'll be doing that very shortly. They have canceled their non-aggression pact, and Utgard has apparently made the determination that what they need to do is just rush me down as fast as they can. Which, fair. It's a reasonable decision. At this point, I'm kind of engaged in mind reading, because I'm like, okay, so I have to keep Lanka active. I'm researching with everybody except DMX, who is blood hunting because he's a blood 6 mage. So he's guaranteed to succeed unless the unrest stops him, and he will get 5 extra blood slaves from his hunt. So he's doing that. Plus, it's Turmoil 3, so we'll get extra for that. I have to gamble here on which way I want to move. This is the Prophet with 25 Jotun Javelinists. This is a smaller army in Uzid Yazran with only 16 Jotun Javelinists and 1 hearse. This army would be easier to defeat, but he's also got this force behind it in Titan's Breath Peaks, and I can guarantee this force is moving here. Right? So, here's the question I have to answer. Basically, if I attack into Uzid Yazran, best case scenario, this army is trying to attack Lanka, and I hit them, defeat them, and have them destroyed by this army, because this army is primarily Javelinists and Garmherdings, and if that's actually 40 troops, which it may well be, my forces can't beat it. My forces... I mean, I have about 75 units all told. I guess they might be able to beat them, but the attack density of Bandar Warriors isn't fantastic, and neither are their attack and defense skills, so I think I would take grievous casualties at best. This force I might actually be able to destroy, especially because I can concentrate my Palankasha on it as well. Now, this army in Uzid Yazran, this army could probably also be beaten by 10 Palankasha, especially in Turmoil 2, because right now, if we look at them, they're in Turmoil 1 and a Swamp, so they're taking the Swamp penalty. So, realistically, it would be Attack Skill 16, Defense Skill 15, and Strength 21. I think those skills could be sufficient to defeat this army here, if this army goes up to attack Winna. However, I also want to concentrate forces to try and defeat these troops in Cornmark. Actually, I think I have to play this defensively. I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to move and patrol all my troops onto my other fort here. So they're all going to move and patrol up here, and the goal will be, if these troops are concentrating on Lanka, they'll hit it. Almost all these troops are going to be moving away. Actually, wait, hold up. Current fort siege defense 75. Oh yeah, that's because of all the troops that are in there. So, all these troops are moving away. These guys have a siege defense of 1, so Lanka's pretty good at holding up walls, to be honest, with Bandar. All these troops are going to jump up here. We're going to concentrate our forces. I'm recruiting some Palankasha as a Bandar warrior. I'm also recruiting a Raksha Raja this turn. Yes, he costs a lot of gold, but I'm doing this for a reason, and I'll explain it in a little bit. I'm recruiting a Raksha Raja. I've got DMX blood hunting. You may notice all of my gems are gone. We're concentrating troops up here where we are recruiting 1, count them 1, Bandar warrior. And we're going to gather all of our armies in one spot. The problem with this, there's a problem with this strategy. The problem with this strategy is that's going to give this army time to arrive, and so we're going to end up fighting all of these units at once. These two between them have about 50 models. This guy has about another 40. I can't beat 90 giants. I just can't. I think these guys... 1 second. What's your siege strength? Yeah, your siege strength is 4. So we've got 16 with siege strength 4, plus the Jotun Spearmen. They also have siege strength 4. That's 20. That's 80 siege strength, 86 siege strength, 87. And Cornmark has 25, so that's 187. They can't quite break down the walls in 1 turn. But close. However, I'm still a little ways away from Blood Magic 3, so I can't summon Asrapas. So I can only summon Rakshasas, which aren't nearly as good. I could also summon Praghasas. Praghasas are slightly better than Rakshasas, I think. Okay. So here's the thing, right? My life at this point depends on summons. That's the only way I'm going to be able to accomplish anything. I know you're not seeing anything right now. That's because I'm looking at the mod inspector trying to make a call. Ideally, what I want is to destroy one of these Utgard armies. Praghasas have more hit points and higher strength And they deal a lot more damage per hit, but they have fewer hits. But you get a lot more of them. Because what I'm thinking here, right? I've got blood level 2. I can't... I actually need my blood hunting to happen. Like, that's actually vital. Because, okay, so I'm trading away all my gems, right? So I'm trading 18 gems to Sorrow Mage in exchange for 34 blood slaves, which isn't a great rate of exchange, but it's what I've got. These troops, if I patrol right here, what I'm afraid of is, I'm afraid that both these armies are going to collapse on Lanka, and if both these armies hit my patrolling troops, they'll win just outright. Because 50 Jotun Javelinists will run over this army, especially with the support of their prophet. So I don't have the forces to fight them both. I have to kind of gamble on fighting one of them and beating it. So yeah, I think this was originally the good call. I think I have to move down here and hope that one of these armies is going to go up to Winna to try and lock that down and prevent me from getting income. Like, that's a reasonable move for them to try and prevent me from getting income. These troops coming in, if they... So, there's a couple of worst-case potential scenarios for me, right? Worst-case scenario number 1. This army stays put, joins up with this army, and then moves on to Lanka too powerfully for me to stop. Worst case number 2. These two armies both combine onto Lanka and wipe out my troops and are too tough for me to stop right now. Those are what I have to kind of prevent from happening. I can't stop this, because this army combined with this army is too strong for me to fight. I can potentially stop this if I attack this army, because these two armies will clash. It'll be randomly determined whether it's happening in this province or this province. If it happens in this province, my troops have to fight his alone. So these troops and these troops have to fight his. They might still be able to win. I'm not sure, but they might. If they fight together, I'm pretty sure that I'll win, because then I'll have my 10 Palankashas, plus my extra little gang of Bandar warriors, and the Sermon of Courage support. So I think if these two forces both fight his army, they'll win. I don't know what this army is going to do, but this army isn't quite strong enough to break either of my forts. It can't break this palisade, it can't break Lanka. Now, the reason why I actually need to... These guys actually also need to blood hunt. And what has to happen here is they have to... Yeah, just summon imps. And then DMX. DMX was scripted to retreat, but he shouldn't be. He should actually be scripted to spam agony. For armor negating damage plus fear. Yeah, he should be scripted to spam agony. Okay. So, we've got them blood hunting. Okay, because see, here's the thing. I must have blood slaves. I've got 34 blood slaves coming. That's not actually enough to cast Feast of Flesh. It would be enough to summon Rakshasas or Asrapas 3 times. However, I don't have time to research Blood 3 right now. DMX can cast the summoning spells because he's Blood 6. He can cast Feast of Flesh, or he can summon Asrapas. This Raksharaja is Blood 2 plus a random, and so we'll also be able to summon Asrapas. Asrapas are what I need to win this thing, because Asrapas are actually dangerous enough and have the life leeching damage, so they can fight giants, especially when they're, in turmoil, and so have that turmoil, that chaos power. Rakshasa warriors would also work really, really well, but once again, I don't have time to reach Rakshasa warriors. They're Blood 4. That's another couple hundred research points that I just don't have time to generate. Could also bind Bone Fiends. Bone Fiends are chaff. They're basically long dead with 2 attacks each, but they only require Blood 1, Death 1, and 5 Blood Slaves. So they're 1 Blood Slave each. They're a third the cost of Rakshasas. Hold on, one second. Because my, the whole thing here is, this fight is going to be determined entirely by how efficiently I make use of my blood slaves that I'm going to get here. Yeah, Bone Fiends don't do enough damage, I don't think. And they're vulnerable to banishment, which Rakshasas and Pragasas and Asarapas are not. So, unless I can kill his prophet, if I kill his prophet, then yes, Bone Fiends could work. They're a lot more vulnerable, but they have high attack density. I mean, they're like... Every Bone Fiend is like half a Rakshasa. It deals less damage with its attacks, it has 0 prot and only 15 hit points instead of 28. Jesus Christ. All I need to do is by hook or by crook, by whatever method I possibly can, I have to survive this assault, because this is it. This is all Utgard can muster. You know, this is the army of Saruman here. If I can live through this, then Utgard is going to have serious, serious problems as Sarumatia starts storming the beaches. So if I can beat these 3 little forces, I can push back out and take provinces and secure a place for myself in the world. If I can't, then I'm fucked. So I'm gonna take the gamble. We're gonna attack Cormac. I don't know where this army is going. That army, I'm sure, is going here. I don't know where these Seithkona are going either. He also has Gufri's swordsmen down here, these mercenaries. He may not be able to afford to hire them again. He has 2 more turns of them, so probably... Here's what I imagine he's going to do. This army's going to go up here to lock this fort down, to try and lock that palisade down. This army's going to move down here. The mercenaries are going to move back up. Next turn, everybody collapses on my capital. The question then is, where does this army go? Is it going up here? No. If he's trying to collapse on the capital, it's going up here to join the attack on Winna. And then depending on how that goes, he may be able to attack to storm this fort and besiege Lanka on the same turn. That's the move for him, because he has these mercenaries down here. Okay, so no. We're going to move over here and patrol. And I'm just going to fucking gamble. I'm just gonna gamble that he's not going to attack Lanka this turn. I'm gonna take that gamble. We're gonna cancel that guy. We'll put some real basic bitch province defense up here. And instead of researching, everybody's gonna blood hunt. We're just gonna blood hunt the fuck out of Lanka. And half of them will probably fail just because of the built up unrest. But we'll do what we gotta do. We're also going to assign every unit we have to whoever can hold them. Just so that maybe we can do something here. Trost, tell you what, you take all these guys, because they won't suffer as big a penalty with you. And yeah, they're all undisciplined, but they were mostly undisciplined anyway. You stay behind troops. And the Blood Hunters should be scripted to spam. You can spam Bleed. Actually, how many do we have out here? Blood hunting, blood hunting, blood hunting. You're throwing Agony. And that's fine because Agony's area of effect scales, so you will throw really powerful Agonies. Because you'll be hitting like 10 squares at a time with Agony. So if you catch any blood slaves, you'll be extremely dangerous. You're summoning imps, you're summon imps and then claim life. Summoning imps, spam bleed. Actually, no, animate skeleton. Just animate skeletons. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do. All of you guys just animate skeletons. You summon imps, you animate skeletons. And we'll set you all way back. We'll set you all back here, kind of behind the mass. So the goal of this is just, if he attacks me with a small group, if he launches a little like test gang to try and see if he can knock me down since I don't have any province defense, then these random chaff troops and a bunch of skele spam, you know, what limited skele spam I can do. That's 5 skeletons per turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5 skeletons per turn plus the agony spam. I guess you should probably cast Twist Fate and Personal Luck on yourself first. Yes, Twist Fate, Personal Luck, and then you can spam agony once the fighting is actually starting. Yeah, so that should be able to hold off a small raiding party. I don't think he can send small raiding parties, actually, because I think he only has one... Yeah, he only has 1 commander per army. Okay. If they attack me with everything, then they attack me with everything, and I might just fucking die. But if I can get my troops up here gathered, I should be alright. And if he sends 1 army up to attack this province, then my armies should beat it. Because I've got like almost 100 units there, including some Ethereal Chaff and some of my Palankasha, so... Alright, cross your fingers, knock on wood, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if this works. This is the darkest hour of Lanka. We'll see if we can make it. I have a non-aggression pact with Niflheim. I just have to trust he's going to hold to it. I'm betting that I know what these guys are going to do. I can't guarantee this. It would be entirely possible. It's entirely possible that he's going to make a different decision. That Utgard is going to cut up this way with this army, and then this army is either going to go there or there. That would be just fine. If he does that, great, because that will mean I'll be able to defeat this army by itself while this army is off fucking around doing something that matters only tangentially, and I can secure my capital. I would love that. So we'll see. Hopefully he does that. Whether he does or not, next turn I should have some better troops and hopefully a whole bunch more blood slaves. Like, if these guys can get me even 10 blood slaves between them, then I can cast Feast of Flesh and get 15 Pragasas, which will be a significant boost to my power, just because they hit hard. They're not tough, they have very low prot, but they hit hard, and so if I can chaff for them and get them into melee, they should be able to beat the giants down. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in turn 15. We'll see how this goes. Okay. Turn 14 still. Diplomacy has done it again. By persuading Broken 25, who's playing Saramesha, to attack Utgard. I've been talking to Heretic, who is the player who's playing Utgard. Heretic seems a little bit, and this is not meant as any kind of personal judgment, Heretic seems a little bit prickly. He's the personality type that reacts very strongly to feeling like he's being pushed or bullied. And so, basically, by pulling in Broken 25, I've pretty much accidentally convinced him to leave. So, Heretic and I have been discussing, and he offered me, alright, so 10 turns of peace, so non-aggression pact, 10 turns, neither of us can end it until turn 24, and he's going to go take his armies and go fight Saramesha instead, which from my perspective is great. So the agreement is, I'm going to take back all of these provinces, my cap circle plus 61. He's going to take all his armies and go fight Saramesha instead. That's fine. That is fine by me. It's not a lot of provinces, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 provinces. I can live with that. I can live with 11 provinces. Instead of having to fight a desperate hell war against giants to the death. I can deal with it. So, I'm changing some of my plans. I am still trading those gems because I already agreed to do that, so I'm going to get those blood slaves. I'm shifting some of my mages back to research so that I can get research level 3 pretty quickly, including DMX. DMX is going to be researching. I am, however, moving 3 of my my Raktapatas, including my Prophet, over into Cormark to begin blood hunting. We're moving a whole bunch of units over there as well. These troops will be, Utgard's troops will be withdrawing through this path, so I'll be taking that province, he'll be withdrawing here this turn, next turn I'll retake that, turn after I'll retake this, and then I'll take Coatl Swamp with something as well. So this is all fine. My plan remains, however, to ramp up my power as quickly as possible. I am still recruiting the Raksharaja, because the Raksharaja will be able to summon, I'm losing my mind, I've lost my words, Asrapas. And I'm going to start summoning Asrapas as quickly as humanly possible. We're still going to hit Blood 3, then Construction 4. We're going right into the summons as fast as we can. After that, we're probably going to rush down either Alteration or Enchantment. I'm not sure which. Alteration would give us Wooden Warriors, although honestly, don't really want to be doing Wooden Warriors all that much. Alteration level 7 would give us Fog Warriors, which is important. However, Enchantment gives us Seeking Arrow, Cloud Trapeze, all of the death spells, and Thunder Ward, although that's not super relevant for us right now. I'm thinking Enchantment. Enchantment also gives us Personal Regeneration, which is very valuable for certain of our mages. It's very valuable for our Sabbaths, to make our Sabbaths slightly turbo, in that Raktapatas under Personal Regeneration regenerate 3 hit points a round, which can be super, super useful. So we're going to recruit the one Raksha Raja. We're also going to start site searching with him. And then we'll switch back to recruiting primarily Raktapatas. We're going to try to build a lab and temple in Winna as fast as we can to get Raktapada construction going there as well. For right now, however, we are going to start, if I could get some money from fucking somewhere. I cannot. Okay, that's fine. We're going to wait. Pretty soon we're going to start trying to pump out Markata scouts from here as well. And over here we'll have, so we're going to gather up some troops. These provinces will be free to take back, basically, because they shouldn't have any province defense in them. We'll gather troops here. Those troops will then go knock out Zox 137. And I have plenty of troops to do that now. In fact, I'll actually split my units somewhat. Gather troops up and launch them off to do that. Like, this army could probably do that, but just to be sure, I will also send the Ganas with them. And then these troops will swing down here to follow these troops up and take back these provinces. So by the end of, in a few turns, I should have my borders pretty well secure. I should have Zox. I'll have this. I really want to put a throne on this. I just don't have any money. Actually, I should start recruiting scouts there right now. Yeah, start recruiting scouts there. I'm actually not going to recruit these Palankasha. Instead, I'll recruit a Markata scout there, and I'll recruit some Bandar up here. Not recruit any troops in Lanka. That gives me a little bit of a treasury surplus, which is fine. I could get a couple of heavy infantry, but I don't really need it. I'm going to spend that money actually kicking the province defense up here up to 11, just to try and ward off any opportunistic grabs on anybody's part. I will need to contact... I'll need to contact Gath here. Okay. Alright, so we'll, yeah, we'll sort, I'll sort something out here. Yeah, that is Althea, just double checking. We'll sort it out. But I think we can accomplish something here. A little bit of breathing room, a little bit of space to live. If Niflheim continues their strategy of not placing province defense, then what I might actually do is I might try to monkey snipe some of Niflheim in order to get space. Because once I get summoning online, once I get my Asrapas going, and possibly Rakshasa warriors, I'll be able to do some dirty business against giants in general. And yeah, Gath just not Gath, Utgard. Utgard giving me room is all I want. I just want some space to breathe. I want to be able to start blood hunting the fuck out of these provinces, and probably this province. I mean, I'll probably blood hunt Winna. I'll definitely blood hunt this province, assuming it has any kind of population. Hell, I'll blood hunt Hoburgdorf. I don't give a shit. I'll blood hunt everywhere. I'll blood hunt everything. But yeah, I think we can do it. I think we can make it. In fact, I'm gonna send Limerick back up there in order to build stuff. Actually, no. I'm gonna send Limerick right there so that he can build a temple. And I'll have a little bit more income next turn. Just a tiny, tiny fraction more income, but it'll be something. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Breathing room. In any case, thanks for watching. That's turn 14 for real now. I'll see y'all in turn 15.